come on, keep it in line. Side to side, no room, no time. Hear that crowd talk, hear that hate. One small slip and you make it wreck. Chop shop weekly, we come back mean. Side to side, we live that speed. Chop shop weekly, bad blood loud. One more lap and the roof comes down. Chop shop weekly, we don't blink, don't freeze. Chop weekly, run with the bees.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Chop Shop Weekly, where we're going to talk about all the chaos going on throughout the week, all the excitement and all the drama, and all the new stuff to talk about. Jason Dave, welcome in.
Thanks, Brad. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How was your week?
Not bad. It was a pretty busy week at work, a full week schedule of racing. Not the results I wanted for myself this week, but it was a good week all in all. How was things with you?
It was pretty good. I had pretty decent finishes all around. Xfinity race, I kind of put myself in the wall and never had a caution come out for it. You know, it was overall good. Busy week working. The weekend was good. Kind of boring watching the Sonoma race, in my opinion, but otherwise it was good.
That was a predictable weekend for the Sonoma races. SVG swept the weekend and kind of what we predicted, but even though he had a little bit of a challenge there towards the end of the Cup race, I think Chase Briscoe actually had something for him, but SVG is just good at making that work on that last lap.
Yeah, most definitely. He was very fast. I think he kind of saved his stuff more than he actually showed his cards. I don't think he wanted to put a huge stink up on the show of the whole people. You know, if he went off and won by 10 seconds, there'd be so much going on. There'd be so much social media and
yes and no. I think Briscoe looked really good, and Shane even said his tires were a bit more worn out than what they were. I don't think he was sandbagging at all. I think that the other guys are starting to catch up. Briscoe's a good road course racer, and I think that these guys are going to start giving SVG a challenge.
Most definitely. Let's go right into the truck series this week for Chop Shop. We had a pretty good race there. We were at where were
Michigan.
We were at Michigan.
Another one of those good tracks that ends up being crazy on the restarts. 3-4 wide, momentum-based track. You're basically like a super speedway. You're hammered down the whole time. Not my favorite type of racing, but it was good racing. I thought it was a pretty good race. A little bit of controversy in the race, but it's to be expected. These guys are running. The truck series seems to be everybody's out for a win. Everybody runs hard. Everybody doesn't give a lot of respect to each other, but it is good racing and it's a good show.
Yeah, it was the first race of the playoffs. Pretty exciting. Points changed a little bit, not really. The first what was 100 laps was pretty exciting.
It was pretty dominated by Causey
Yeah.
for the first half of the race for sure. He looked really, really good in the truck in that race.
The race had nine cautions for 27 laps, 21 lead changes, with Kobe Hartung at the end of the day coming out with win by a 0.345 second lead win over Eric Schaefer.
Yeah, and good to see Eric get a good run, but that was a little bit of a rough finish there. Colby and Logan Kogar actually were battling it out for the lead. Logan was leading, then Colby was leading, and they kind of beat and banged. So Colby and Logan actually end up getting into each other on the last lap, caused a little bit of controversy there as well. Looked like, in my opinion, as much as I'll never take Colby's side, I'm going to take a side on this one on that incident anyway with Logan. I felt like Colby did the right thing. He just pinched Logan a little bit. Logan came up and doored him, and then he bounced off of him, got a little loose, and then he decided to turn right and try to hit Colby again, which he ended up taking himself out. The incident before with Colby, I'm not going to be on his side necessarily on that, but on the last lap incident with Logan, I feel like Colby didn't do anything wrong on that incident, and it was more of a racing deal with Logan, and I think Logan realized that after and ended up apologizing for his actions on the track. But it was good to see Logan have some really good speed up front. I've been saying this every week, how fast he is. He's got tons of speed. We'll talk about later. He looked really good at the Cup race this week, but he just tends to do, I'm going to say it now, but tends to do dumb things when he gets in spots where he feels like he's a little bit behind or he needs to get up through. So he's got that up front speed, but when he gets back in the pack or behind guys, he tends to do things that aren't really the best things to do. But I want to talk about Causey a little bit, though. He looked really dominant, but he started 31st in that race, and I think he was up front by the stage. Like he was up to in the top 5, if not won that stage. He started 31st. He came through the field. He blew by me like I was sitting still and made it all the way to the front. So good on Causey for looking good for most of that race anyway.
Well, let's go back to Logan. Logan led 23 laps, the second most of the race. He was a factor most of the night, as you were saying. And, he battled and stuff, but at the end of the day, he had 16 inches. He walked the line between basically having the speed and chaos, and it seems to be his struggle. But being up front and having the speed the night, he finished 6th at the end of the day. Could have been better, could have had a win, but his chaos style is going to make him pay.
Yeah, and that happened to him again on Friday night. We'll talk about that in the Cup Series, but he was up front in the Cup Series as well and fell to the back with an unfortunate incident and caused some more chaos again.
Yeah, I think if Logan just takes his speed, settles back, and realizes he has the speed and controls the chaos side of him, like you don't have to go on the edge every lap and force the issue. He's going to win races. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of him getting himself calm down. He's young. He's not, how do I say? He's like Carson Hocevar that needs to mature in the series because in every series he runs, because of the fact that he runs so hard, he doesn't realize the positions he's putting others in, and it's tearing his car up, and
for
it's
sure.
not good.
I totally agree, and I think the biggest thing for him is we've talked about. He's got the speed, he's got the talent, but you start rubbing all these guys, these regular guys. You come in a new league and you start rubbing them all the wrong way. Nobody's going to give you some respect. Like there's a reason why guys are racing him so hard right now, because that's what he's done to them. And you gotta give a little bit to get some back, and it's going to take a while for Logan to start getting some of the respect of some of the drivers in the league until he starts showing that he can do it when he's back in the pack, or when he's having trouble, that he can lay off and let the guys go instead of him being a chaos causer when he's mid-pack once he's damaged and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, most definitely. We do have some clips that we're going to show of the race. Bollinger, you want to go ahead and pull up a couple of the early clips, and then we'll move on to the stage and from there. RB had a good run as well. Go ahead, Bollinger. Time to go in the stage here. That was lap 1.
The stage thing shows up wrong for him. It shows that there's 10 laps to go on the stage. It's actually, I think the stage was lap 40, I think, in this race.
Very action-packed, very exciting.
Super fast.
A lot of guys are moving. You can already see Causey moving up. Then RB had a great run. He had a surprise podium. He started 22nd, back in the middle of the pack, and finished 3rd, gaining 19 spots. That's pretty dang good for that. He's running with the best in our series, with Nate, with Kobe, and Logan, and up there with you, I know you didn't have a great race there, but
I had a good run going until I got caught in something and ended up with damage, and I couldn't keep up anymore. So, and we had a couple other guys that had some bad luck. Tyler Dalton ended up not finishing that race. RB with a really good finish, and I don't think it's a surprise podium, but I think it's he played the patience game and he was there, and attrition went his way as well. And same for yourself. You ended up with a top five that race, so it's an impressive run for you. And I'm not going to, like, if you say a top 5 is a podium, like I would call that a surprise podium for you as well. But not that you don't have the talent to be up there, but just it doesn't always go that way with the talent that we do have in this league.
Sometimes you just got to avoid the chaos that's going on, and put yourself in the spots that are going to benefit you. Like if Logan literally took what me and RB did there, he would have won that race. Avoid the chaos, win the race.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if there was anything to go. I don't know if you're going to pass Colby in that situation. Colby can. There's not many guys that can make his truck as wide as Colby can on a finish to a race. Colby will do anything he can to win a race, and that's why I was saying that I normally wouldn't be on Colby's side, because him and I have tussled quite a few times over the years, but that wasn't Colby's fault this time. It's unfortunate that it ended that way, but I think it was a good run, and Logan had a dominant truck. He led a lot of races, a lot of laps, and he looked like he was the one that was going to win.
Most definitely. Logan was definitely fast. We got a late race. No, we got what do we got? We got a late race crash on the setup for the green white checker in the trucks. Go ahead and pull that up, Bollinger. I wonder if he shows.
He's got to rewind it now. See what happens.
So if you watch up there, the car right up front is Colby, right there on the inside of the green truck. Right. So look, watching that again, it's definitely on Colby.
Yeah.
And Colby should claim that. And it's been a topic of discussion since the race happened. So I'm going to bring it up. So if you are in Colby's shoes and you're in the playoffs and everything, are you taking that claim?
Well, I mean, I don't know if Colby knew it was him at the time. I really don't know. That was a tough one. Even like, yes, he laid a block the way it happened. But I don't know if at the time, if he knows that that's his fault. And to be honest, Colby, in a joking way, it's never Colby's fault in his mind. So Colby doesn't make mistakes. So at the end of the day, if he makes a mistake and he sees it, he's going to admit it. And he did after the race. He realizes that he makes that. In the heat of the moment, I don't think any of us realize that that's our fault that causes that wreck, because it happens behind him in a sense. Do you know what I mean? So he doesn't feel like he did something wrong where he didn't hit somebody or cause that wreck to happen. So I think that's where it comes from in that perspective. The block is what made it happen. Like his move is what made the wreck happen. But because it happened behind him, I don't think at the time he realizes that happened. And if he's anything like me, I don't have the stream up. I don't get to watch it. I'm not watching the replay back. So I have to go off of what instinct that you think happens at the time.
I most definitely agree. Just had to have to ask the hard questions to you. Got to ask somebody. We were supposed to have Kobe on for that one, but.
Yeah, I would like to ask him. I'd like to grill him because guys wrecked me more than anybody in this league. But him and I are still friends, and we still talk. And it's it's what it is. But at that time, in that heat of the moment, I don't know if any of us take the blame on that, because I don't think you realize that you caused it.
Let's go ahead and show the last lap that for the truck race.
This is a good battle right here. Kogar right here tries to spin Colby here.
Goes all the way to the apron.
Well, that's because he freed up Colby and they finger it. And then he doors him again there. So then Colby moves down, doors him, and then Kogar tries to take him out. To me, on that last lap, that's just hard racing for a win. I don't think wrecking a guy would be wrong, but the way they raced and just beaten and door banging, that's regular racing, and that's going to happen. I would have done the same thing, but I'm not going to wreck a guy. The move to try to take out Colby on the end there by turning right and going up the track by Logan is 100% not called for in this league, and I don't want to ever see that again. But the hard racing, the dooring, coming to the finish line, got to see that all every time, and that's what I want to see.
Yeah, it was definitely a good race. I kind of want to give a shout out to Banks, because Banks was in that race all the way until 3 and 4.
Yeah.
So RB came down on Banks and caused Banks to spin.
Right.
Banks is not one of them guys that's going to race super aggressive, but he's going to be aggressive. Whether it's the last lap or not, he's not going to wreck you on purpose. It was not intentional, but it ruined Banks' night of a good finish. It affected the playoffs. Michael Strickland had a rough playoff night. Mark Jurgensen had a rough playoff night. He disconnected after 71 laps. Who else had a tough night? Tyler Dalton had a speed early after starting second and led 2 laps.
Yeah, and then he wrecked out of the race. He didn't even finish.
Yeah, Tyler was damaged and forced to keep cycling through the pits to try to finish. He did finish. He finished 16th.
Okay, he did.
1 lap down.
Through. Okay.
Robert Church had a rough night, had 20 incidences, and somehow still ended up coming out and finished 14th. What else?
Another disappointing night for the 52.
Let's take a top 5 and 25.
Yeah,
what's funny about this? Our numbers literally are backwards. Like yours is a 52, mine is 25.
I know. I like it.
It's kind of ironic.
So there's a little bit of shakeup in the playoff points right now. Joseph Causey came up 3 spots this week. Logan Kogar up 3 spots in the playoffs. So, those guys are big movers. Austin Johnson -4, Strickland -3. So those are some big moves in the playoffs right now after the first race of the playoffs.
Bollinger, you got the points. Can you pull them up for us, boss? There we are. So, no change in the top 3. Like you said, Tyler Dalton dropped, Causey up 3, and Logan gained 3.
Oh, Eric Schaefer's up too. So
Oh,
he's
yeah.
moved up into the top. So Tyler Dalton dropped out of the top 3. Eric moved up in.
The back half of the top 16, Clint Hackett gaining 2 spots, Anthony Crownover gaining 1, 124 points. Is it doable? Yeah.
Oh,
Gonna
yeah.
need a lot of luck on his side? Probably. But yeah, Pat Green had a rough night. Lost some spots. Where was he? He lost 1 spot, so he was in 15th coming into this. I think the surprise guy coming into this that can really upset stuff is Clint.
I think so. I think Clint kind of has a second life now. He didn't think he was going to make the playoffs. He makes the playoffs, and now he's a little bit rejuvenated. Doesn't have anything to lose, and why not go out there and get some good runs? And I think Clint's had some bad luck this season. I think it's time for that to turn around and have some consistent runs. He stays out of trouble. He works his way up in. Do I think he wins a championship? No, but there's potential he could get up in there in that top 10. Top 5 position maybe for the end of this championship run.
Yeah, I definitely could not agree more. I believe we are on a
bye week.
Bye week.
We are on a bye week tomorrow, so I don't have to worry about missing the race.
Exactly.
There we go. I thought I was going to have to miss the race tomorrow, so that's a bonus for me. So that's good.
Well, we can go ahead right into the dub bomb for this. Joseph Causey, how he got the hard charger and
and the dub bomb.
Okay, so this is awesome. So on lap 78, he got loose coming off the corner by himself and went down and smacked the barrels. He's kind of saved it a little bit, but didn't get a lot of damage. Came back and got the hard charger. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. He was impressive all night. Causey was impressive. He, like I said, he was able to get through the field really quickly after starting 31st. His truck looked like it had more speed than everybody. He was able to pick and choose his lines, move the air around, and get through. So it was a really good run for Causey, who hasn't had the best luck as of lately, who came into the series as, last year looked super dominant every race, always had good battles with Colby and Nate. And then this season, he just hasn't been the guy that we saw last season.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Causey's always got speed, just not the same speed he had last year. Like you said,
if it's speed or just luck or just wrong place, wrong time, I don't know if exactly what all's been happening with him, but he definitely doesn't have that. He was a guy that you looked at to win every race last year, like just always had a battle with Nate and Colby up front, and this year doesn't seem to be in the picture every week, but he was this week, that's for sure.
The cars have changed, or the trucks have changed a little bit. That could have something to do with it.
Yeah.
Like he still got the speed, just not the front running speed right now.
Yeah, but he did last week, so that's good. And then we're off to Dover. We have a bye week, but then we're off to Dover for the next week, the next race of the playoffs for next week. How are you feeling? What do you think is going to happen there?
So turn 2 and turn 4 are going to be your traps where big accidents happen. It's really easy to get loose. You're going to have a pile up. You're going to have a pile up at some point. Hopefully Logan does not cause the pile up.
Well, I think anybody can cause a pile up here. It's one of the toughest tracks to race, especially in the trucks. It feels so fast for a half-mile track. It's like it is, or a mile track, but it's just super, super fast. You're on it the whole time, off the corner, super loose. It's easy to hit the exit of the turn, like you said. There's nowhere to go. It's concrete inside, outside. It's super narrow. If a wreck happens, it's a pileup, like you said. And I think it's going to be my strategy, I think, for this race, in my opinion, is survive, because I think there's going to be a lot of cautions. Probably save a set of tires, because I don't think you're going to get a lot of green flag runs to start the race. You might be able to flip the stage or skip the stage with tires, hopefully hold on to them for a little while and get a late set, because that's how you're going to win a race here. It's just track position is going to be key, obviously, but you need it late. You need that track position late. I do not think it's going to be green flag runs where you're going to have to do green flag pit stops. I think it's going to be picking the right pit stop to go in, because there's going to be lots of cautions.
I think you get a green flag run for about, what is it? Probably
6 laps.
I think it's a 200 lap race, I believe.
Yes.
So I think you get probably the longest run you're going to probably see is about a 50 lap run. A caution's going to come out. You're going to get cautions, breathing cautions, and whoever's on the right side of that tire strategy that you were just talking about is going to be the winner of the race. Tire wear at this track is going to be bad I know I ran 50 laps just testing the other day. I burnt the right front off that thing, and yeah, it's going to be real easy to overdrive the car. You gotta let the track come to you.
Yeah.
Not overdrive it.
It's a concrete surface, so you have to be careful. It's one of my better disciplines, the concrete tracks. I do well. I have a few wins at Dover. I like this track a lot, but the truck series is we have such big fields. I just don't think I'd like to see a 50 lap run, like you said, but I don't see it happening with the field of drivers that we have right now. It's too aggressive. It's too hungry. There's going to be guys that want to go, if they get to the back, they want to go right to the front again. And I think that's going to cause some chaos. And I think there's some guys in their truck series that just aren't going to be able to handle Dover for more than 10 or 15 laps before they're self-spinning on their own anyway, or hitting a wall and causing something to happen.
I completely agree. You're 100% right. It's going to be really hard. I think I don't want to say it because I hope it don't come true. Maybe 14 plus cautions.
Oh yeah, at least. I think you're right there, and the over-under is 14 to 17, I think, is my guess, and I don't want to see that many. I'd like to see less than 10. But you're right. I think 14, 15 cautions is probably the way it's going to be.
Let's go back to last week's picks. So last week's picks, you ended up picking, who did you pick? You picked Nate in the trucks.
Nate in the trucks.
I picked Nate in the trucks. And Bollinger picked Brian Fine. And
Brian doesn't even race trucks.
Brian Fine picked Nate in the trucks.
Okay.
And Jerry's picks are in here somewhere. I have them. I think Jerry picked the guy that stays out of trouble. That's what he said. Yes. Literally what he put. So, yeah, it was pretty good for the truck series overall. Let's move right into Xfinity. Pretty good race. Probably the closest finish in Chop Shop history.
I saw the phone to finish. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch the race, so I'm going to let you lead on this one because you were there. I didn't get a chance to watch it, and I apologize to our audience that I didn't get a chance to watch it. But it's what I saw in the photo finish. It looks like a heck of a finish.
0.001 photo finish. Tyler Lemon and Joey Gattina. Joey Gattina comes out the winner, and phenomenal job. So the stage went pretty, one caution I believe before the stage, maybe two. There's 3 cautions, so we had 3 cautions because we went such a long run. We actually had green flag pit stops. This is the final cutoff, by the way. Las Vegas was before the next round of the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So we had 120 laps. Joey Gattina was phenomenal. He qualified well, led 51 laps. He started third. Then we had 51. No, that was it. Tyler Lemon almost came up and won it. He started actually back by me and
11th spot.
11th, yeah. He was working his way through. So I was actually in the Discord with Tyler. So what Tyler was doing, and I'm going to give his secret out, and he might get mad about this, but I'm going to do it because it's stuff I'm learning. So I've learned a lot through Tyler. So Tyler literally was getting off the throttle at your off throttle point, dragging a little bit of brake to get the car not to shove that right front, right, and to save that right rear tire, because that right rear you were burning off. He was so good at that. He saved, got a good stage finish, charged hard at the end of the stage. We had 1 caution there. We had the stage caution, and then there was another caution. I don't remember what it was for. And then there was a good battle going on with myself and Dudley, and I came up and tried to clear myself. Dudley didn't eat the run. I come up, got into him. It went green. Never got to fix the damage myself. But it was a good race overall. Tyler Lemon pitted, 20 laps? 20 laps? No, 15 laps later than Joey Gattina did. The first guy to pit was Joe Hudson. Had a great night himself, finished third. Phenomenal job by him. Joe led a lot of laps, was fast, had speed. Just if it was a different strategy, he probably could have won the race. He was walking the field on old tires for a while, and it was kind of impressive. But yeah, it's such a great finish. I think we got some clips from the Xfinity. Let's go ahead and pull them up. This is right after the stage. No, this is lap 1. My bad. Green start on pole. Yeah, go ahead. This is the final lap.
Stage 1.
Stage 1, yep. What happened there? No, this is the final lap. My bad.
This is the fun. It looks like Tyler's got a little better tires here, and
A little green
plan
flag.
on taking a run at Joey. Tyler actually messaged me to
5-1,
apologize that he
throwing
didn't get
shade.
the win because I
29
picked him again this week.
29 all the way
I
to
wasn't
the inside.
I wasn't unhappy with him. A good move here.
So it
No.
was so close. Like, I went back and watched it multiple times just to make sure iRacing got their scoring right. It, like, you had to zoom in. It's like that much. That much.
I think Tyler makes a small mistake right there, and it's he wins this race if he does this. But as you see them coming out of turn 4, I don't know if Bollinger can bring that back up again. Bring that last lap. If you watch him coming out of 4,
Come around to it.
come around here. We'll talk about it in a second.
We'll
So he
see
gets
it.
a
White
really good
flag
run.
wave.
He holds back a little bit, get a little air.
Racing.
That's okay.
Couple of cautions,
okay.
couple of slides.
So he uses the air here. He's getting a
5-1,
good
throwing
run.
shade
Dives
to the
underneath
inside.
him. So now we're going through 2 and 3. He has a run right
5-1,
here.
the throttle
If you
back
see
up
on the
out of the
exit,
corner.
Joey goes up to the wall. So right here, keep going, Bollinger. You're good.
5-1,
then Tyler
29
cuts
up
pause
and
there.
out.
That's
He
okay.
should have went up and
Tyler
side
at the
drafted.
Yeah.
line,
So he
Joey
should.
continues.
So he didn't side draft. I'm not saying he had to side draft, but when he comes out of the turn 4, if you can see my hands, well, I'll show my hands here now. But Joey goes right up the wall, and Tyler gets to this point, and he starts to turn down. So that he scrubs a little bit of speed when he does that. So if he had to just follow Joey up to the wall here and maybe side draft it, but then once they got to that point, Joey can't come down. Tyler can make that move down, and he gains a little bit of track because he cuts the track, but he cut it too early, and he caused him to scrub speed, and that Joey kept the momentum going. And that's I think that's the move that. I mean, it's hard to pass. If Joey keeps him pinched in the middle of the corner and it keeps the momentum, but that's the only way Tyler keeps that momentum going is to follow Joey up to the very part of the wall right there, and then cuts down on that track.
So the last 20 laps, I have more layovers on my screen, so I'm able to look at lap times and stuff. So Tyler Lemon doesn't race with any of that. So he's asking me, what are their lap times in front of me? So I'm reading them off. I'm trying to crew chief and drive at the same time. It was so hilarious. I literally told him, I'm battling somebody. You got to hang on a sec. And he was faster. By the time he got there, he literally told me in the DC or the VC chat that we were in, literally told me, I burnt my stuff up. I'm not going to have anything for him
Right.
before even the last lap. And after that closest finish, he's literally like, I screwed up. Literally what you said. He said I should have went up, followed him up to the wall, side drafted him a little bit, and then separate. But his biggest fear was Joey side drafting him back and dragging him back.
Mm-hmm. But I think what happens there, like if you go up to the wall, Joey can't come down because he's going to get himself wrecked, and he's got to get himself pinched. So I mean, Tyler did the right thing. You don't want to wreck anybody either, and you don't want to get wrecked. But I think that's the only option is to follow that guy up. And I don't think Tyler's stuff was done. I think once he got to Joey's rear bumper, the air made his car feel different and made it feel like his tires were burned up, because now you're tight when you get so close behind somebody like that going into the corners.
Yeah, Tyler just races with such class that I don't. He'll side draft you, but he ain't going to put you in.
I wasn't saying he was going to go up there and try to wreck Joey. I just think he needed that little extra. You could just see when he cut the wheel coming out of turn 4, you could see when that happened, when he made that turn down. That's when all of a sudden the distance changed. You could just scrub that little bit of speed off.
I most definitely agree with you. A couple of big movers throughout the night. You had Raccoon that went from 23rd to 6th. He had a good night.
How many guys showed up for that race that night?
I think 25.
Oh, that's a good number for a Saturday night O'Reilly series.
Yeah, it was a pretty big field actually. So at one point, I think I was running 20. No, there had to be 29 cars, because at one point I was running 29th. Jerry Culver went from 21st to 14th. Had an impressive comeback from a little bit of stuff they had going on. Got in the wall a little bit. It was a long green flag run there at the end, and it made the racing exciting / boring all at the same time, if you know what I'm getting.
Yeah, I know
so
exactly
if you're watching on TV, it's boring because it's so spread out. But
if
there
you're
is individual
Joey or Tyler,
battles.
that's an exciting race, because Joey's doing everything he can to stay out in front and not burn up his stuff. But then Tyler's got a little better tires and he's doing everything to catch him. So it's an exciting race for those two. But yeah, to watch it until it happens, it definitely can be boring sometimes.
Yeah, there's definitely individual battles throughout the whole night. Like, even though I finished the lap down, I had fun because I was I got caught a lap down because of my strategy, and I had damage. But I'm literally racing third place like I'm on the lead lap, because what else am I going to do? He had a big enough gap in front of him, he wasn't going to gain on him. He had a big enough gap behind him that he wasn't really losing. So me and Joe talked after the race, and I actually said, Joe, if you're mad at me, I understand, but I had the most fun I've had in a long time just battling the crap out of you. He was like, all good, bud. I knew what you were doing. I was like, well, otherwise I'm just going to be out here riding and I'm bored. So it was a good run for Joe. I want to give a shout out to him, Tyler, Joey Gattina. Congrats on the win, Joey Gattina. You deserve it. Just this much more, and we would have had our boy back in victory lane.
Yeah, it's okay. And Joey's a non-playoff driver, so a non-playoff driver gets a win. It shakes the things up a little bit too when you're heading into a whole new round, the final championship round here going in. So everybody's reset; their points are reset. It's still our old point system, and it's the last season of before we get into chases. For the hard charger of the night was
the hard charger Raccoon.
That was a good plus 17. That was a good hard charge.
You had Joey Gattina finish first, Tyler Lemon second, Joe Hudson third, Robert Dudley fourth, Pat Green fifth, Raccoon sixth, Jerry Culver seventh, Clint Hackett eighth, Ron Holdenfield ninth, 10th, Casebeer. This was a cutoff race, as we could know.
Yeah,
so
I was off on my pick on the top 6 here, and I apologize to Robert Dudley for underestimating. He ended up finishing 4th in that race. I had Wertman with a good finish. Unfortunately, Wertman had some bad luck in that race and didn't make it up in there. But yeah, congrats to the top 6 going off to how many races is it for the final?
I believe there's 6 left,
6
or
races.
5
1,
left.
2, 3, 4, 5 races for the round of the final round of the championship.
Yep. So both RB, Brian Wortman, and Fred Chase, and Joshua Sigfield all had horrible nights. RB was caught up in that early wreck, the big one. Fred Chase was involved in it as well, and Brian Wortman as well. Brian Wortman kept on running. He literally sat on pit road, fixed all his damage, came out and finished 15th. RB had probably the worst race he's had in the Xfinity Series, and literally maybe right after that wreck, he just DC'd, and same with Fred Chase. It's unfortunate, but it's racing.
But luckily they had a big enough point. Like I said, the last week, the only spot that was going to change was that 5th, 6th spot that was even close enough that everybody else was pretty safe, even if they had a bad night. So we're reset now. We're on our playoff order. If Molt Bollinger can bring up the playoff standings again, we'll talk about it. But Tyler Lemon leads it going in. Pat Green in second. Jonathan Casebeer third. RB Turner fourth. Robert Dudley 5th, and Fred Chase in 6th. I'm still going with my pick of Tyler Lemon, even though the points are reset and everybody's equal again. It can be anybody's over this next 6 races, but like I said before, Tyler's my pick to win the championship. Does he win more races? I mean, we're heading to, I think you guys are heading to Texas, I think. Texas, I think that's another Tyler track. So I'm going to go with my pick. I'm going to pick Tyler again. Pat Green probably on the pole for that race if he shows up. Look for Fred Chase to get a really good finish at Texas. I think he'll be good there as well. Clint Hackett, I think, for a good finish also. But as for the playoffs, I don't think it shakes up a whole lot. I think Tyler and Pat duke it out here. Fred and RB could be the surprises that move up. I think RB maybe finishes top 3 in this championship, even though Casebeer has been running really well. I think he falls off a little bit, and top 3 for the championship will be Tyler, Pat, and RB with a Fred Chase as the spoiler in there to maybe finish in that top 3 or even pull off a championship if he has a bunch of good runs.
I haven't seen the consistency of speed that I have in the past from Dudley, so I'm going to say he drops down to 6th.
I agree with you, even though he had a 4th last week, which was a really good run for him. But I agree, he's the guy who falls to 6th for me as well.
Fred Chase, he's my dark horse to go out there and just blow the whole thing up and make it exciting. Tyler, he's our favorite. Would I like to see him win the championship? Hell yeah. Let's go, Tyler. I've been hanging out with him too much, so yeah.
We're supposed to disagree a little bit, but our we're exactly the same right now. We both have Fred as our dark horse right now. They have Tyler staying where he's at, but I totally agree with you on all this stuff.
I've been hanging out with Tyler too much because Kevin Winker went out on a little night off, and he wasn't there. So I wish he was there because I think he could have pulled up a huge upset and got into the playoffs, but he let me down. It happens.
Tyler messaged me before the race and he said, Kevin's not making, I'm going to be lonely. I don't know what to do. And I said, well, Dove will be there. You can go in and talk to him. So that's what he ended up doing. So that's good.
We're having so much between me and Tyler just hanging out. I think we're having a riot. I don't know about him, but I'm learning a lot, and he's probably getting more laughs than I am. But we're having a good old time in VC, you know.
So you're in there laughing. You're the reason he didn't win last week.
The week before is the reason he didn't win. But this week, no, that was all him. I was reading things out. I was making sure he had information he didn't have otherwise. You know, the Xfinity is off on a bye week for the 4th of July. That Texas race will be July 11th, so we will talk more about the Texas race next week.
So I guess this is an off week for everybody this week.
Do we race Cup on Friday?
No, it's an off week for Cup as well, I think.
Cup is at Talladega this week.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, Talladega. That's right. Yes, okay. I thought for sure you guys would be off for the 4th of July weekend. But be off.
Joe Hudson had a good run. Let's see if we got anything left in that one. No, we're all done with Xfinity. We can go ahead and move right in the Cup race on Friday night.
I don't even want to talk about this one, but let's talk about it. Big night. Yeah, it was a good race. We were at, where were we at? We were at Texas, and track was really weird and unpredictable, even in practice. Everybody on the radios were talking about how terrible the setup was. Guys were even questioning if it was even the right setup for the track. Things were weird. The Cup Series, I didn't feel it in practice. Everybody kept saying how loose it was, how twitchy it was. Weird. It did weird things. It didn't feel right. I thought it felt pretty good. I didn't feel like I had a lot of really good speed. I qualified mid-pack, was able to work my way up through. But yeah, everybody complained the setup was a little bit weird. Yeah, this place there was guys self-spinning. There was some weird twitchiness. It happened to me, even though I didn't think it was going to happen. Happened at leading. Yeah, really, really good race. Chad Coleman pulls off a win. Not a surprise. He was up front the whole night. A few little shakeups. Nate Biggard got into Logan Kogar early when Logan was leading the race. That caused a little bit of an issue. Logan was pretty upset with that, but Nate admitted it right away. He just ran over him. Didn't mean to. Just entered in the corner faster than Logan was going, and Nate ran him over. Tyler Dalton got caught in that one. Had some damage. Got caught in a couple ended up having a self-spin later on. Rarity for Nate Biggard. Nate Biggard also had a self-spin after he got into Logan, but I talked about this earlier, but with Brian Fine, but Nate has that golden horseshoe, and somehow he's able to wreck the leader, self-spin, have 10 minutes of damage, and still manage to come back and finish in the top 10. There was so many cautions in this race that if you went a lap down, you were pretty much guaranteed to get one back. It shook up. It was a weird race. Speaking of Brian Fine, though, he did end up finishing second in this race, and we do have him in the studio if we want to bring him up and say hi to him. Hello, Mr. Fine. How are you?
What's up, guys? How are we?
Good. So I want to talk. I'm taking over for Dove right now because he took over for the O'Reillys on me, but I'm taking over a little bit. But let's talk about Texas just a little. Did you feel like the setup was all over the place in practice, starting up like it was a little bit unpredictable? Did it feel, or were you agreeing with it? Because you probably heard everybody on the radio too. Everybody was complaining about how crazy it was. It was tight. It was loose. It was all over the place.
You know, I mean, it was. I showed up late to practice that day, and started running. It's like, holy crap, this thing's loose. Made some adjustments that night, and it ended up working out. You know, you really didn't have to chase the car that hard. You had to be really careful with it, especially coming at it too. But honestly, after getting the hang of it, after 10, 15 minute practice, the car started to, come around, and it's like, okay, let's make this happen.
Yeah. And you had a good run all night. You ended up finishing second. Did you feel like you had something to win? I think you led some laps. Did you feel like you were right there? Your teammate David was also up there quite a bit. All your other teammate Chris had some speed. I think he qualified. Did Chris end up on the pole? Didn't he? By a lot.
Chris was on the pole by like a tenth or two. I
think 2/10 faster than the rest of the field on the pole. Chris was crazy, but then he fell off really early. I don't know what happened to him early. He fell off, him and then Jeremy had a ton of speed, but it was sporadic speed. He'd have a ton of speed, then he'd fall off, he'd get loose, he'd fall back. your whole team performed really well speed wise. Did you feel like you and David were the like kind of two dominant ones for the night?
I mean, yeah, I mean, we felt like we were dominant, with Justice and Bailey. I mean, everything was clicking along pretty well. We had at one point, I think BCR was top 3 some part of that night. And, it's just the track was so weird. At one point we were at 117 track temp. We go down to 109, then we're back up to 117. I think that caught a lot of people off guard. Turn 2 was the devastating factor for everybody.
I don't want to talk about that one.
I know you don't, and I feel super bad for you, but like turn 2, I felt turn 2 was hit and miss. No matter if you were down near the white line or if you were 5 cars wide up. It just really depended on how you hit that seam. I hit the seam wrong a few times. I about almost lost it. Luckily, I ended up saving it. I ended up needing a new pair of shorts after it, but hey, it is what it is. But I mean, the guys over at BCR, we did great that night. David and I worked very well that night. We had constant communication, seeing what's going on. A lot of people struggled. I was actually surprised. It felt like one point, the track was working out pretty well. And then, the next lap, it just went totally away. So it kept us on our toes. But, myself and the guys at BCR, we did really well.
Yeah, it was an impressive night by all you, and for a second place finish, that was really good for you. Chad ended up winning that race. He ran consistent all night right there with you. I noticed he was with you and David pretty much all night. Did you think you had anything for Chad at the end, or he was just too dominant towards the end, or just the air was such a difference?
Air was a difference. Honestly, I feel like, if we didn't have that caution with like 5 to go, and I talked to Chad about that, after, post-race interviews, and Chad, admitted it, like, man, I hit that wall, you were coming. Chad was super loose at the beginning, but he had a really good long run car. I felt like our car at BCR and my teammate David and Justice and, Bailey, some of us had that good short run speed and some of us had that long run speed. I think David, myself, and Justice were in the middle. We had good short run and we had good long run. If that caution didn't come out, it would have been a pretty close battle.
Right.
Dirty air is a factor. There were a couple times I got really close to Chad that night and it was like, oh crap, I'm tight. Now let's get grip. And you suck right back in and you had nowhere to go. You had to wait for the mistake. Chad did make a few mistakes. He openly admitted it, but Chad did what Chad needed to do. He defended his line right. He did the same thing like I did at Atlanta 2 weeks ago. You've got to put the car at the right spot to cause that dirty air. But no, I felt like we had a pretty good shot to win, but P2 and consistency, that is my main goal this year, consistency, and it is showing.
Well, that's good. It's really good to see.
You're definitely finding speed.
Let Brad talk now. Sorry, Brad.
You're definitely finding speed in the car. What's the difference between this year and last year in that car?
I mean, I don't really see a difference. Maybe a fine, minute fine little things. Again, like I've told you guys once before, I run maybe 1-2 times a week, but I'm really trying to focus more, trying to learn a little bit, trying to watch a video, just learning different things that I can do, what I can do. And, years ago, I was that guy that would push it real hard at the beginning. I had to teach myself how to slow down. Slow down goes fast. Only so much that you can do when you are going Carson Hocevar. But when you get guys like, and a great example, and I strongly recommend it, and we talked about it at the road courses, SVG's, in-car camera, HBO Max, footwork. Downforce Danny Stockman talked about it. That is a art. And no matter if it's a sim or if it's in real life, if you slow everything down by a tenth or two, you're going to go so much faster. It's a learning curve. That's the biggest thing for me of how the car reacted from last year to this year. I've really had to exert patience is my biggest takeaway.
Most definitely. So we're going to talk a little bit more about this race. So Tyler Dalton grabbed lead early. Logan ran off with, came up and led some. Chad Coleman came up and led some. David Durant, Brian Fine, myself, I ran some.
Yeah, you did. You did good.
I led a few laps before I got drove through by your teammate.
Ouch.
You better talk to him. Literally straight drove through. And there's some Jason Day led some before he had his misfortunes.
I led 36 laps. I did pretty well for a while, and it looked like I was actually gonna win a race, or maybe potentially win a race. I had a good opportunity. Nate and Tyler both had bad luck. I thought this is my chance to gain some points. And then Bollinger's going to bring up this clip of where I completely lost all talent in the world and had made one mistake. Where we talked about making one mistake, but let's watch this. Controlling the field, and
Nobody hit you.
Just that slow spin is what killed everybody.
yeah. Normally, when I could save that, I could just straighten that out, and it just turned right on me right away. And I do have to say is that much as it sucks to and do that stuff, but my one little point, I'll do my little day rant for the day. But see what happens when you actually hold your brakes on and you stay in that one spot. Nobody runs into you. So I wrecked in front of the whole field, and not one person hit me. And I was in the middle of the track because I was able to stay in my line and not just let it drift across the track and nobody has nowhere to go. So, I mean, as much as it hurt my night, I was all the way in the back, and then I got caught in 2 wrecks after that. So basically it was night over for me. But yeah, that's what happens when you make one mistake all night long, and that one cost me a race.
I don't really think that was a mistake. It's just your car looked great coming out of that corner. It's just ever since they've redone Texas, that is such a fine line, and you were under that seam, but the sim can only go so far where that seam is compared to real life. You may have hit that seam and it just unsettled the car.
No idea. It was so unpredictable. It didn't even feel like it was nothing. All of a sudden, it was just like, okay, and it was gone. And I don't even know what happened.
Yeah, so. It's just weird how it lost the rear end on the flat. I can see it in the corner, but on the flat, that's a little weird.
That's what I'm saying. Where it was totally weird. It was after I had exited. It wasn't loose in the corner at all, and then I got on the flat, and it just, I don't know what happened. But yeah, that was my statement. We'll let Dove talk again because now I'm sad.
I have a clip of lap from the first lap. Go ahead and play that, Bollinger.
Chris Justice on the pole, a heater.
Nate Biggert starting second, starting up front. Then we also have another clip we're going to show you guys from the stage spin.
That's when you get loose in the corner right there.
I only got a minute something damage from that.
That's crazy. I got tagged by Logan after I had spun out, and Logan self-spun, came down the track and just clipped me, and I had 12 minutes worth of damage at the end of the race. I couldn't even get that fixed, and all I did was get clipped. So it's crazy how the damage model works, or where you get clipped sometimes.
We also got one last clip we're going to go ahead and show. It's going to be the last lap of the race.
Coleman with a good restart.
So there was a big wreck on the back straightaway, which hurts Day a little bit more. We're going to hurt Day's feelings a little bit more. Day's minding his own business, going along, and gets tagged by Church on the outside. Oh, no, was it Church?
I don't know. I got hit by everybody that doesn't slow up
except for me.
Yeah.
Except for me.
The caution came out. The cars are wrecking everywhere. I thought I avoided, and then everybody's hammered down because we raced to the line on that last thing, and I end up getting hit about 6 times and smashed into the inside wall, and I didn't even complete the race. So that was the end of my night. But it is what it is. That's the last lap. That's the way we race it, and it's unfortunate. I think, Brian, for you on that thing is Coleman got such a restart there. You needed 2 or 3 more laps to even get a run back up, to gain momentum to get back up to him again. Just he had such a run there, and then with the 2 guys behind you side by side, you're not getting any help pushing. They're actually dragging you back a little bit by racing side by side right behind you like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I probably needed maybe another lap or 2, and I was on his rear. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, Chad did a phenomenal job. Few controversial restarts. Maybe the officials need to go back and look at some of them restarts. Car length and a half, but hey, it is what it is. I keep telling you guys all the time, this is bench racing for me. We're running for bowling trophies.
Yeah, well, I was going to speak up about the restarts too, because your teammate on the restarts that I was picking the high side, he was actually at my rear bumper as we were coming to the thing, and where he's supposed to be beside me. So I was going to come over comms and say, hey, we're supposed to be side by side, not taken back here. But I mean, it didn't hurt me on those restarts, but it would be nice to be side by side instead of somebody trying to pull a little run on me when we got the lead like that.
Correct.
So for the overall race, we had a few good movers. We had Brantley Glazer from 27th to 7th. Clint
Brantley's
Hackett,
fast. He's got some speed.
Clint
Yeah, he
Hackett from
does.
30th to 10th. Brandon Banks from 20th to 6th. Joe Hudson from 17th to 8th. Cam Dario from 12th to 4th. Joshua Siegfried also turned 14th on the grid to a podium third place finish.
And Josh was good all night. He worked his way up there, and then he just kind of stayed in that top 5, top 10 spot and just kind of stayed out of trouble. And then Mr. Consistency lately, I think this season, and the guy that nobody talks about is Cam. Cam is fast, and he is in that top 5 mix or a win mix every week. And something seemed, but this week he stayed clean. He had a good run, and I've said it, the last few weeks. I think Cam pulls off a win or two this season. He's showing more speed, more consistency every week, and he's trying to stay out of trouble. So it's good to see, and I really like racing Cam. He races hard. He doesn't do the aggressive stuff he did a few years ago. He's got super speed, and he's really good on a long run. He's not Brandon Banks or Nate Piggott long run speed, but he's right there with them when it comes to tire saving and being there at the end.
And I agree with you on that. And sorry, Dov, I don't mean to interrupt, but that last restart, if we had another 5 degrees of banking, Cam's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Cam's been fast everywhere we've gone. I'm impressed. He doesn't race as much as he used to, but he's doing phenomenal with the one night a week, kind of like Brian. They're doing great. They're getting the most out of the nights they're racing, and
I wouldn't say I'm doing great, but thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Listen, you got to win as second place finish. Don't give me that.
I think and I don't think there's not necessarily a downside to racing the one night if you're staying with the one discipline. So if Cam and Brian were racing 3 nights a week and they were racing the Cup car 3 nights a week, then that's when you're gaining. But if you're racing Truck Series or O'Reilly's stuff, SVG said it in his interview with Dale Jr. last week. He was on the download. He said, I think I wasted a year racing the O'Reilly Series because he learned nothing to the Cup car. He might as well just went straight to the Cup car because it's so different. And in iRacing is exactly the same. The Cup car handles like nothing else in the sim. So racing other than learning racecraft and race experience and learning how to pass or do moves, that's the only thing you learn by racing other disciplines. No other vehicle in the sim helps you for the Cup car other than the Cup car. So it doesn't, to say you race 5 nights a week doesn't make you better for Fridays. That's for sure. You have to concentrate on that car alone in order to get better at that car alone.
I completely agree, because my racing in the trucks and the Xfinity are not helping me in the Cup car, but racing the Cup car 2 times a week has kind of helped me improve this year.
Truck Series does nothing for me besides make me depressed every week. So that's the only thing it does for me.
Well, that's the Cup Series this week. We also had some depressing moments, which mistakes played a huge role all night. Logan Krogar, myself, Michael Strickland, Nathan Bigger, and a couple others got hit with some costly penalties at the end of the race for not claiming stuff or claiming a penalty.
That's news to me.
Chad Coleman gave us a statement. This is a quote from Chad Coleman. Didn't try to push too much early. Ended up second at the stage. Cautions. Started to settle in for the run on tires. Was decent throughout the run, but noticed the track position was going to be key late. Then we had a spin. I escaped it. We pitted, got tires for the last time. 2 guys stayed out on old tires, which was me and Jeff Laraway. Stayed out on old tires, and they got together and started on the start there. I was with the track position I needed all night. A few slips and close moments later, along with a couple of restarts, he was able to finally win a Chop Shop race here. And congrats on his first Chop Shop win. That's huge. These races are not easy to win by any means. especially you can ask Day, you can ask Brian. They do not come easy. Any race in Chop Shop does not come easy. You got to put in your time and effort. So big, huge shout out to him. We are going to be going into Talladega for the Cup Series this Friday.
Do you want me just to throw up all the names and then see which one lands? Because how we picked that one? Because it's going to be it's basically like a lottery. I think. I just to go on Chad Coleman again. Congrats to him on the win. Not a surprise to me for him getting a win. He came into this series this season and has looked strong every race. He shows good speed. He doesn't ruffle feathers. He doesn't beat and bang. Yeah, he's aggressive on restarts and stuff like that, but he's not the type of guy to cause cautions. He's very respectful. If he does something happens, he apologizes. He races. I've raced with them. A lot of races. Him and I seem to be really close together. We're similar in speed, and we've had some really good battles and races clean. So I expect to see Chad in that top 5, top 10 every week in speed, and he may even pull off another win if he has a night like he did on Friday. But yeah, heading to Talladega, Dove, I think you have the best shot of winning this race because you have that last 10 lap mentality like nobody else I've ever seen, who just, you know what, I'm just going to hammer it down and I'm going to drive through the field and I don't care what happens and we'll make it to the end. And I think that's what you have to have. And unfortunately for me, I'm not a fan of the fast repair at the restrictor plate or the plate tracks. And this is where I find that guys play that race out that way and know that they've got that fast repair in the bag, and they'll wreck a field, with 10 or 20 to go, knowing they can reset and then have half as many cars left to race again. So I think that hurts the racing, in my opinion. But yeah, it's going to be a fun race. I hope to have a good finish myself. But I always enjoy Talladega. I definitely enjoy the first 70, or 50% of that race because it's good racing. Usually, we race 2-3 wide. It's a lot of fun, but then it gets really dicey at the end like it normally does. But not my favorite, but still always fun.
We're going to go ahead and pull up the standings for the Cup Series real quick. Let's go ahead and talk about them. Tyler Dalton, top 3 stay the same. Brian Fine gains a spot over Brandon Banks. Brandon Banks falls back 1 to 5th. Strickland 6th. Chris Justice back in 7th. Chad Coleman in 8th. Up 6 spots. Very good for him because those wins pay dividends with points. David Ament back there in 9th. Cam Dario in 10th. Go ahead and take it from there, Dave.
Then we have Eric Schaefer, Joshua Siegfried, Brian Rayburn, Craig Parks, Brad Dove, and Joseph Grijalva. And Joseph's staying in that top 16, and he hasn't even shown up the last couple of weeks. So we need these other guys to get some points in because Joseph's going to run out of provisionals here soon, so he's going to start falling back if he doesn't make these races. But no surprise to me, really, in this top 16. I'd like to see Clint make it up in there. Yeah, I like the way it's shaking out right now. We've got lots of guys with wins. Points battle between first, second, third is super tight. Fourth now, even fourth. We're separated between, what is that, 4, 11, 13 points separate
13 points,
the top 4 right now. So that's a good points battle. Nathan Biggert isn't running away with it at the moment. So we're all in good shape and it's exciting. Brandon dropping 1 spot is just when he's still going to have that win. It's coming up for him. He's going to have a breakthrough. He's had a tough start to the season, and for him to be in 5th place, having the luck and not the runs that he normally has, that's the scary part about this championship. Is if Brandon Banks finally starts getting the runs that he had at the end of last year, he is going to jump up in the standings and be a guy to look for at the end of the season.
It's also really tight there at the back. You look at from, let's say, 13th back to 20th. It's only 50 points.
50 points. Yeah, exactly.
That's tight, and it gets really tight when you get back there in 17th or 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. We've got 2 guys still tied back there. I was luckily able to break the tiebreaker, the 3-way tiebreaker I was in. Thank God. I got myself into the top 16. That's our goal all year, to stay in the top 16. It
just goes to show how important those wins are. Like, stage points mean a lot too, but the wins are huge. They really bump you up. Like Coleman gained 6 spots. Like he's back in that, that 13th, 14th that you were talking, that was so tight until he gets a win and jumps him right up into 8th spot.
Just think a win could take me from 15th probably up to
probably top 10.
Top 10,
just into the 10th, which it's just huge. And like the wins are super important, and hopefully we can keep having multiple winners, which helps shake up this points championship. We don't want one guy dominating every week. Unless it was me, I'd be happy with that. But other than that, I like seeing the multiple winners. I like seeing it diverse, and we want to see the leaders sometimes have struggles. Like Tyler and Nate struggled this race, myself. So the top 3 all had bad nights. Nate ended up finishing with the top 10. He's the only one that recovered, but Tyler and I both finished outside the top 20. So that was a tough night for both of us points wise.
We also got some dove bombs to cover. We got 2. We've got the Xfinity dove bomb we're going to go over first. That was Joey's story. He caused the big one that took out a lot of good guys early on. Yeah, unfortunately. Then we also have the Cup Series dove bomb, which was Nathan Biggert. He wrecks the leader. It's just hard racing. I think
Nate admitted it right away. Nate claimed it. He knew he had a run on Logan, and Logan kind of put a little block on him, he said, and then he had a run, and he said he went in the corner like he normally did, and Logan went just a little bit slower, and he just didn't get slowed up. He just ran right into him, and he admitted, like, absolutely my bad. He just wasn't expecting him to slow down as much as he was, and he ran right over him.
Then there's some new stuff we got to talk about. Let's go ahead and talk about the new stuff. So, coming to Chop Shop, it's not implemented this year, so do not panic. It's a rolling test, everybody. It's a rolling test. So what it is if you get 0.05 incidences per race over 3 races, you start from pits. If you do not have that, there's a mediocre stage before that where you get a warning, and then there's the clean status, which is 0.00 to 0.049. That's your clean status. Then the warning status / watch status is 0.05 to 0.074. Then the other instances that you start from pits and the penalties applied, it's got to be 0.075 or more. And that's over the course. So to use it as an example, if you have 24 incidences over the course of 300 laps, your incident lap count would be 0.080, which that's a penalty. You start from pits. Basically, you're getting penalized for too many instances. Dave, what's your opinion?
I don't mind it. I just don't like it for the guys that get caught up in incidents that weren't their fault. So I'll use myself as example, even though I don't want to talk about myself, but everybody knows what my truck series has been like this season. If we went to right now, my incident points is probably lower because I've been getting more laps in. If you took the first probably 3-4 races of the season, I would have been penalized probably 3 times in those races, yet none of those wrecks were my fault. And that would be the only issue with it. Do I like that we're keeping people accountable for the incidents? Yes, I think there's a way to go about it. I think this is a good start. I just don't know how we keep the guys that are the innocent victims from being penalized when they're just getting run over every week or they're unfortunate part of it. But do I like it? Yes. I think if you have a bad night, it's not going to hurt you. If you have a bad night, you have a few incidents, the next race you race 200 laps, you don't have any incidents, you're pretty much clear. You pretty much clear that bad incident thing. It's just, you have consistency nights where you're 14, 15 incidents, instant points in a 200 lap race. The next night you have 14, 15 incidents. The next night you have 14. Then you should be penalized. You should be the one that's, if you're causing stuff every week, then there should be a penalty. I don't know exactly how this is going to work. I don't know how well it's going to go over, but if this is something they need to try to clean the racing up, then let's give it a try and see how it goes. If it doesn't work, they'll kibosh it.
What's your opinion, Brian?
What's your opinion on this, Brian?
I would agree with Day on this. I honestly think it's a good idea. You really want to clean up the racing a little bit. If you've got somebody that is just 2 or 3 wrecks, or somebody that's 2 or 3 yellows every race, you park them a race. You've got to learn how to control your race car. I like the test of this. I think a lot of people are going to blow it out of proportion at the beginning, of this, that. And I agree with what Dave's saying. Some of the guys that just stay in their lane, do what they need to do, and they get caught up, you're going to get screwed. I'm sorry, I hate to say it, you're going to get screwed by this rule. As it goes on, and this is a test, maybe they might rechange a few of the stuff. That's what's great about being a test. Starting it off in the truck series, I think, is a good idea. Start on your lower series and work its way up. But honestly, we've dealt with some we've dealt with some drivers in our league that it's just bonsai corner. ARCA braking, not caring on where you're running at, this, that, and they cause multiple cautions. I personally park them for a race. Hey, you're done. Come back next week.
Easy.
I'm over the incident. Go easy.
Dove's gonna have to fit a few here.
But here. It's a fine line. The fine line about that is you can go back and review video of, hey, this guy literally hosts of art in the corner, or hey, this guy kind of overstepped it a little bit. We can watch telemetry. Right. Here's another thing. And if the guys in the admin league like John and Stryker want to do it, because we had an incident like this in my last league. We got to the point, every race, you submit your telemetry. That showed what was going on. We can review it no matter how many drivers we had, no matter how many cars we were running. Every week, you submitted your telemetry. And if you didn't want to submit it, sorry, you're parked.
I'm not smart enough to figure that out.
It's super easy to, the iRacing deal already calculates it. It's in a folder. It's already automatically checked. All you have to do is just take one file and go to this file wherever they want it. You would be surprised on the telemetry side how many people did not want to submit telemetry. You'd be surprised. And honestly, you can give out warnings, you can give out penalties, or you can park a guy. We had one guy that we did that. This guy didn't want to give his telemetry. So literally every so often, he was parked a race. The telemetry is going to show you so much, and I think it's a good idea, and I hope this could clear up a lot of things if the guys want to start submitting telemetry. And it doesn't have to be everybody. Pick a random few.
I think just to insert on that, so guys like Nathan Biggert, they're fast, that have that speed, they're not going to want to submit their telemetry.
Well, I mean, a lot of guys in F1 don't want to submit their telemetry, but I mean, I'm sorry, F1's going to overrule you. NASCAR's the same way. It's public. The guys can sit there and watch what you're doing. Do the same thing here. The guys in the Coca-Cola NASCAR series do the same thing. They have to submit their telemetry after every race, hands down. If you don't believe me, ask those guys.
I believe you. So my opinion is, because I'm one of the guys that would get penalized. I don't like it because of the fact that I'm one of the guys that would get penalized. Example. But I like it because it can take some of the aggressiveness and change it into better racing. Like you're not, like, I'm not going to always be up. I'm not going to be up front battling for a win, right? So it brings me more stable into battling for that 15th, 16th that I'm in, and just keep battling for it instead of throwing it off in there with no thought of instances and just ruining someone else's race,
Right.
Because sometimes I do get that point, which I've gotten better at, but using me as an example, I'm one of the guys that would be penalized a lot more for this. But otherwise, I think it can do good for the league, and let's see what the test shows, and if it shows good, we implement it. If not, we can always discard it. It's only a test, but we need to break the breaking news about it, and that's our job. And
I think it's a step in the right direction. I think testing it is great. I don't have a problem with it. I don't even have a problem with me being penalized if I cause the issues. I just don't know how we keep the innocent victims out of it. But at the same time, that's part of it too. And sometimes I talk about myself again, but like early in the season, there was stuff that was happening to me. I was just literally getting run over and I'd be done for the race. Sometimes though, even though you might be caught in somebody's crap, part of it's you, because you don't have the track awareness to either brake when you see a caution. There's a lot of that happening too. And I'm not saying me, but there is some times when there's a caution happen. I see it happening 2 corners before. I know it's going to happen. I have pretty good awareness of seeing something. Okay, I feel it. I'll get on the Discord and I'll be like, something's going to happen. I can feel it. I can kind of thing. And you see it. And I'm really usually pretty good at calling it out over the radio. It's caution, or somebody's spinning. And then I'm putting the brakes on. And then there's 4 or 5 other guys that are just hammered down and they run into that. So do I think those guys should be penalized for getting caught in somebody else's wreck? Absolutely, because they should have known better to slow down and not try to drive through and sneak 10 spots. So that's where I think that it could be beneficial at the same time for guys. Like, I don't know. I like it and I don't like it, but I think it's beneficial. I think some of the leagues need to get cleaned up, especially our truck series. The truck series has got to get cleaned up.
We can go ahead.
Go ahead.
So
Jeff.
we can use a great example, like you're talking about, innocent bystanders / strategy bystanders. Me getting run over by the 51. Innocent bystander, not my fault, but I got 4 instances out of it.
Right.
So it throws me over the criteria. So you're going to not have that strategy anymore?
I mean, it comes and goes, but like, I get what you're saying, Dub, but I also get what Dave's saying. It's for the guys that I'm more concerned about this, and hopefully with this being a test, they're going to test it, see how it is, so everybody doesn't freak out. It's those guys that are running mid-pack strategy, tire save management, and a wreck happens. Say, for instance, like Dub, you're running 8th or 9th. How pissed would you be if somebody from 20th comes barreling in, no brakes, like in the ARCA race?
I agree.
That's my main concern. We have so much spatial awareness, what's going on up front, and we're aware of what's going on. We have no control. The only thing we have is a virtual rear view mirror, and you hope and pray to God somebody doesn't plow into the back of you.
Right.
That's my big thing about that rule. Hopefully it's a test. They're going to reevaluate it. I know Stryker and Hammond and everybody at the admins will relook at this rule, but I think it is a great step forward the right way. Clean up the racing. For one like us in the Cup Series, that Texas race, 13 cautions. I know the track was a little tough. It was a little unpredictable. I feel like that race should have been at least 6 or 7.
Yeah, but there was quite a few self spins, which was unfortunate. About half of those were self spins, which happens, and the track was unpredictable. So I think wreck wise, if there was incidents, I think you're getting that 6 or 7 actual cautions if it wasn't for the self spins. But I do agree, it was too many, and it also played a big difference in how that race played out.
Yeah.
One thing with the test with this, I'd like to see, in a way, almost a virtual test where they followed the league along, kept the numbers, and then said, if we were running this right now, like let's say, for example, I caused 5 wrecks over 3 races. If they did a just did a test version, but where you didn't actually get penalized, if they could just warn us and say, if we were running this right now, Jason, you would have had to start in the a lap down. Like, you had to start in the pits this week.
And I agree with that. I think that's a great idea.
Used it as a warning test to start for 20 races or whatever, even finish the season off this year with us or whatever, to see how it goes, and then bring it in, test, say, okay, we're going to implement the actual rule, but let's test it out where they tell us first, okay, you're being penalized. You would have been penalized if this was happening.
That's
Maybe
exactly
that'll
what they're doing with that.
Okay, as long as that's the way it goes. Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly the way they're doing that. So it's not actually getting implemented where we're starting in the pits yet. It's basically, this is who would be starting in the pits right now, and we're going from there. Let's go ahead and move on to your rant of the week. Do you have a rant this week?
I think I ranted 6 or 7 times already, so I think I've done all my rants.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, no, I had my rant early with Logan. I want Logan to win a race. I really do. I think he's got the speed. He had the speed last week to win a race. He had the speed in the truck. He had the speed in the Cup car. I just wish that when he did get in trouble, like I said earlier in the show, if he did get in trouble or he's back in the pack, be more patient. Don't ruin everybody else. In the Cup race, he got taken out by Nate. He got back in the pack. He had a race. He self-spins 2 more times. He causes other wrecks. He takes out his one self-spin. He ends up causing. He didn't hold the brakes. He slid down the track. He got me. He got 4 or 5 other people. I self-spun. We all make mistakes, but let's not take everybody else out with it because you're mad because you got spun out early in the race or you had a couple more self spins. Let's be more patient and respectful to the other drivers in the league. So I guess that's my rant a little bit, Dove. I guess. That goes for everybody. That's not just for Logan. It goes for everybody. There's other guys. If you get spun, next thing you know, they're mad and they're going through, or if they have a wreck or whatever, like. If you're back in the pack, guys are racing each other so hard for 24th and 25th that have nothing to do with the guys up front, and they're wrecking back there. Just give up the position and get in line and catch back up. You're not doing anything in 24th and 25th besides slowing yourself down by racing so hard. So let's try to do that. The thing about the cleaning up the racing, I'd like to see the racing cleaned up, but I don't want to see it so clean that we never have cautions. Because to me, that's boring too. Racing has cautions. There is incidents. it also throws some strategy in there. So I want to see 1 or 2 cautions in a race. I want to see something happen just because it gives a guy like myself or you, Dove, or even Brian a chance to, like, if they have a bad first stage, you get a caution or something happens, it mixes something up, and it's not always, Nate Biggard winning every race because he can drive 400 miles on the same set of tires and somehow is able to not burn any fuel. You know what I mean? Like, it just throws those things in for everybody. So that'll finish there. We're already at an hour and 32 minutes, so we're pushing this one tonight.
We're gonna go ahead and ask Mr. Bollinger to go ahead and join us for the picks for this week, which is just going to be Talladega. Go ahead and join us up here real quick. Brian, while we're waiting on him, do you got anything out of Fine's Corner?
Yeah, Fine's Corner.
I mean, just Fine's Corner this week, and I think we all talked about it. Just I want to learn, especially from you guys and everybody in this league, what are some pre-race rituals that everyone does? Like my thing with me, get home, hang out with the kid, hang out with the wife, get ready to jump on this thing. And I'm a guy that likes heavy metal, but I've gotten really into the big, what's the word? Like metalcore. I'm really big into metalcore. I'll listen to that a little bit before I hop in, and just, get with my guys and strategize. And that's what I do, so that's my big thing with this week's Fine's Corner. I would like to see what everyone's pre-race rituals are. What's different? What makes you, most comfortable when you get into this from the real life? Because this is our sim world. This is our escape from everything. This is our fun. This is our hobby. Some of us do this for a living. This is something that I've always wanted to do. I wish I would have gotten into the sim racing deal 10 years ago. Maybe my career would have been different, but no, I mean, that's just my takeaway for Fine's Corner this week. I mean, do you guys got any questions for me?
Dave, what's one of your rituals, actually?
Okay, so this is a funny one. So for me, it's a ritual for me every morning, and it's a ritual for me before I race. But I have eaten peanut butter and toast basically every day since I was probably, 3 years old. I eat peanut butter and toast every day when I wake up in the morning. I have it for breakfast. But on race nights, because I get home and I don't have time to cook dinner, that's the first. As soon as I get home from work, because I'm hungry, because I usually don't stop for breaks all day. I'm usually hungry. Is I make peanut butter and toast and I get ready for the race. So I usually have peanut butter and toast before every race.
My pre-race ritual is let the dogs out every time, same time, so they don't bother me. And then the other ritual, I'll either have a beer or something, the adult beverage, and enjoy it just for a little bit, because I know I'm going to get frustrated and I'm trying to turn a new leaf. And I apologize this weekend for exploding on somebody, which is new. So we're going to take it for what it is. And we're going to try to change the Dove way. So we're going to do it that way.
Zen moments with Dove now. So we're getting calm new
Dove.
That is a news segment right there.
So we got Bollinger on. Let's go ahead and unmute him. And we're going to... Bollinger, welcome in.
Thanks for having me, guys. Yet again, another successful week on the Chop Shop Lukey podcast.
Yes, and thanks to you too. Good job on the clips tonight. Really good job.
Very good job.
Okay, well, let's ask you about your pre-race ritual first. First, I think that your first one would be make sure the cats aren't in your room so they don't ruin your race. And then what's your pre-race one? And then tell us your picks for Talladega this week.
Actually, my cats have gotten better at doing that now. But I already talked when I talked to Dove earlier with this, but my pre-race rituals. I always like to have the invocation play followed by the song of the Stars and Stripes play, the national anthem, before every race.
I like that.
Good band. I like it.
Now, coming in for Talladega, the picks are going to be up there. It's going to be anybody's race. All you got to do is really just have friends, stay out of the carnage, and it's not if, but when and where the carnage and the big one's going to happen. So, once that white flag's in the air, it's every driver for themselves. But a long shot for me is going to be Michael Strickland getting the win.
Long shot. He's an upfront guy. That's a guy.
But he hasn't had the run, so that would be at this season right now. That would be a long shot for Striker to have. It'd be nice to see him get a win, especially. But maybe not there. That won't feel as good for him. But the runs that he's having, he'll be happy to get a win no matter where it is.
Brian, who's your pick?
Man, for me, honestly, and he's actually really good at super speedways. I'm going to go with Jerry Colbert. I think Jerry Colbert gets a win this week.
Are you going to stay loyal to his back bumper to make sure that comes true? Is
You know-
that going to happen right here? We'll call it out right now.
No, honestly, I talked about this in the last podcast. I give credit to Jerry for allowing me to come in this league. Absolutely, I will. I will stay glued to his bumper.
I can cross you off the list. You're not my friend this week.
I mean, Jerry's been good to me. You know, Dove, if it was you, I mean, you're second. You're second in my pick. I'm sorry. I think Jerry gets the win, but if Jerry has trouble, I'm going to go with you. In Fine's Corner this week, we have our dark horse picks. Brad Dove is my dark horse to shake up everything.
Well, I'm going to go way off the rails here. Not really, because this guy has unbelievable speed at plate tracks. I've seen it in other leagues. I've done some. And it was in what was the big race that we did, the big 500, that what was the one that we did a while ago we mixed all the leagues together.
The Interleague 500?
The Interleague 500.
Yeah.
This guy was an absolute menace in that race, but ran up front the whole race and had a shot to win it right to the end. I'm picking Logan Kogar to win this race because that dude likes to be up front, but I'm also going to pick him to cause the big one and maybe his night be over. I pick Logan Kogar and Joey Katina to be the guys that are up front, and my dark horse, and he's always been good at plate or drafting tracks, and I think he's only the win he has in the Cup Series with us right now is Fred Chase. I think Fred Chase is always good at the plate tracks. Fred Chase is my dark horse to win.
So I'm going to go with a guy that I've picked for a couple of races. I'm going to go with Tyler Dalton. He's fast. He's consistent. He has speed in everything he runs.
And he won Talladega in the trucks.
So I'm going Tyler Dalton. But my dark horse, it's going to be Mark Gretchen.
Oh, Mark's always good at these tracks.
Phenomenal at these tracks.
Phenomenal drafter, and he always has something late happen to him. But yeah, I should have said that's a good pick, Dove.
That is a really good pick.
I'm glad you didn't pick him. Now I can pick him. So
absolutely, that is a great. I'm surprised I didn't pick him because I always try to find him at those tracks and follow him. Yeah,
going with
him and I always end up hooking up together in the races. We race really well together. I said, can't believe I didn't say Mark. That's a good pick, Dove. I'm 100% backing that one on you right now. That's a good one.
And to just put it out there, my long shot to win, because I just want to be different and have a long shot. My real long shot, if we'll go with Jerry. Jerry's my long shot because Jerry's just I think he's not aggressive enough. He needs to get up on top of that wheel late in the race, kind of like I will, and be afraid not to lift.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's that. Anything final thoughts on NASCAR? We'll throw it all together this week. How's that?
Okay. I already talked about NASCAR at the start. I thought it was a decent weekend. Not really anything out of surprise. SVG wins both races. A little better race on Sunday with Chase Briscoe. I didn't get a chance to watch all the races. I saw the highlights. I thought the O'Reilly's race looked pretty good. It seemed to race really well. Yeah, I just thought it was a predictable weekend, but yet, you can't go wrong with any NASCAR weekend. I'm just a big fan, no matter, guys bitch and complain about road courses, but I'm a fan of of racing, whether it's turning left or right or just turning left. I'm a NASCAR fan through and through, and I'll always support it.
Bollinger, your final thoughts.
Well, going on with the NASCAR thing, it's going to be interesting watching these Cup cars, because last time we saw NASCAR in Joliet, Illinois at Chicagoland, the D-shaped concrete oval, I should say, it was back when Kyle Busch was still in one of the villain stages. I believe it was the last race there, 2019. Since 2020 happened, they weren't able to race there. I wonder how this next gen's going to handle, because we've seen it on iRacing with the next gen.
It races well in iRacing with the next gen, so I look to see the Toyotas being dominant as much as they have been. Their car is proven to be a little better, and I think Danny Hamlin gets another win, or if not, Tyler Reddick.
Brian Fine.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago Lane coming back up in this next-gen car. I know in the sim it's really good. Hopefully the real-life boys can do it. I think Kyle Larson's going to end up winning this weekend, getting the win. The guy is on a winless streak over a year. The guy can run the high line. Tyler Reddick can do the same thing. Chase Briscoe can do the same. I think the momentum swing is going towards Kyle, and Hendrick if they can put that race together. That's going to be the big thing. Toyota's still super dominant right now, but I'm thinking the 5 car this weekend is going to end up getting the W.
And your final thoughts while we're at it.
My final thoughts, I know we're running Dega this week. The blender is already staged up. I've got all of our names on a piece of paper, and I'm going to hit the button until one name comes out.
Let me know
Dega's
who
gonna be
comes
fun.
out.
Well, who knows who's going to come out? I mean, we could all end up on a foot race to the finish line. It's going to be unpredictable. It's Dega. As long as nobody forgets they have a brake pedal in the middle, we're going to be okay.
There is no brake pedal.
Hey, you've got to use that brake pedal every few once in a while, but it's going to be fun. I think we're going to have a good showing. We'll see what our local weatherman, Jeff Hammond, does. Hopefully it's not 135 million degrees, but yeah, we'll see how this week goes. As soon as I start the blender and I get the name out, I'll let you guys know.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. So I'm going to go ahead and do my NASCAR review. Pretty boring race at the road course, in my opinion. I wasn't excited, but it's NASCAR. I watch it every week. Chicagoland, I'm swinging that. So there was a statement made by Kyle Larson that they're improving and stuff. Well, if they're truly improving, Chicagoland's the true test. At the end of the day, Hendrick in general, if they run good, they are back in the game. If not, they're still off a little bit. If Kyle Larson, Willie B, or even I'll throw Chase Elliott. If they don't win the race, I don't consider Chicagoland a success for them. That's my opinion. They're my favorite drivers. By the way, I took over the fantasy point lead again from Nate. So good there. I want to give a shout out to all you guys. Thank you for coming and making this show successful. Everybody that watches this, sends us comments and everything. Big shout out to you guys.
I never see the comments. Do we get any comments? Just want to ask that. Do we get any comments?
I haven't checked YouTube.
Oh yeah, one other thought. Sorry to interrupt. One other thought. I hope everybody likes the new digs. This is the new somewhat temporary office space. I like that. And then one more plug for me because the final thought. Check out Inside the Rig. I just did an episode with Brian Wertman, ex NASCAR crew chief. Talked to him on the weekend, so it's up on YouTube and Spotify now. We talked about his rig, a little bit about his rig, and a lot about NASCAR and his journey through NASCAR and what he's dealing with now. So everybody gets a chance to check that out. Like it, share it, and it's all part of Chop Shop Media. It's called Inside the Rig, hosted by myself. And we'll get back to Brad.
And I also want to give a big shout out to Jason over at Signature Esports. All his broadcasts, without him allowing us to take them clips, we don't get to give you guys the great content that we did tonight. Big shout out to him, Bollinger, for helping us get the clips, getting stuff set up last minute. Phenomenal job. Big hooray for him. I want to give a shout out to some of our sponsors: Dove Farm LLC, Frago Paints, C2 Gaming, My Three Sons, Tracker Racer, Baller Status, Speedy Trophies, Admin Box, Stay Tuned Sports, Premier Racing Setups, MC Graphics, Hoosiers, Chop Shop Weekly, Inside the Rig, The Dove Bomb Show. There's a new episode coming soon. I will give you guys a sneak peek maybe next week about that. LTX, and Jason, thank you for coming on as you always do every week, being my sidekick and making the show go round and
making it 2 hours long tonight. I talked a lot tonight. Again, I'm terrible.
Brian Fine, thank you for joining us again. We'll get him back on for Fine's Corner. Bollinger, phenomenal job. Keep up the great work. You're getting better every week. And I'm going to say this: I think we did phenomenal tonight.
I thought so too. Thanks everybody.
And we will
absolutely.
We will catch you next Monday after the 4th of July. Happy 250th birthday to America.
It's also Canada Day this week, July 1st, so Wednesday.
Happy Canadian Day to all the Canadians out there. Y'all be safe. Have a great week, and we'll catch you next Monday.
See you guys.
Yeah. Monday at the chop shop, hood up, eyes low, 2 cars in the bay, and the whole block knows. Rumors in the morning, they spread like fire. Who got the faster line? Who got the tighter tire? I seen you on the screen, clean hands, hard stare. Virtual track, but the pressure's still there. I racing nights, you ghosting through the bend. One bad break move and the whole thing it in line. Side to side, no room, no time. Hear that crowd talk, hear that hate. One small slip and you make it wreck. Chop shop weekly, we come back mean. Side to side, we live that speed. Chop shop weekly, bad blood loud. One more lap and the roof comes down. Chop shop weekly, we gon' blink, don't freeze. Chop weekly, run with the bees. Friday night, same names, new grudge, old talk, new scars, same cold judge. You wanna race clean, but the story gets bent. One click too close, now the whole thing went. Wheel to wheel and the mirrors all blur. He cut your lane like he wanted the bird. Engine screaming, head full of rage. Everybody got a clip for the feed, next page. I saw the wreck and the replay spin, metal and pride and a twisted grin. And the worst part, they still ask for more, said run it back when they hit the floor. Come on, keep it in line, side to side, no room, no time. Hear that crowd talk, hear that hate. One small slip and you make it wreck. Chop shop weekly, we come back mean. Side to side, we live that speed. Chop shop weekly, bad blood loud. One more lap and the roof comes down. Chop, we don't blink, don't freeze. Chop weekly, partying with the bees. Late lap, tense air, hands like steel. Everything fake till the tires feel real. Virtual smoke and a real life spite. Same old hunger every Friday night. They said slow down.